Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. And I want us to pay attention. Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. And he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan was standing at his right hand to resist him. And the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuke you, O Satan, even the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. Is this not a firebrand plucked out of fire? Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments, and he stood before the angel of the Lord. He was wearing a filthy garment. So even though he was before the presence of God, even though he was doing something sanctimonious, he was doing something that is within the temple, he was a priest. You know, people will have come to offer sacrifice. People will have come to give gift to God. Even though God may not be even questioning some certain things, but there was a personality, there was an entity there who saw it as a door of opportunity to operate in the life of Joshua. And I was wondering that if God did not arrest that matter immediately, only God knows what will have happened to Joshua eventually, that particular high priest. One of the archaeological channels that I love to enjoy on YouTube, which deals with more of biblical archaeology. This particular high priest, you know, one of the excavation around Jerusalem was being done, and there was a particular high priest for that year, and because every high priest have their seal and inscription. They have their seal and inscription, and history brought out a man called Joshua the high priest. So what the Bible is telling us is not just a story, it's something that what actually happened. There was a high priest in Israel, a particular year. Even though this man was probably born again, was mentioning the name of God, but Satan saw an advantage in his life. Now, the Bible did not tell us specifically the context or what brought about that filthy garment. It could be a weakness in the life of Joshua. It could be a habit in the life of Joshua. It could be a nature he has acquired along the way in his journey of life. Jesus said, the prince of this world came to me, but he did not find anything in me. Every weakness in our life will always empower the devil. And that's why if you come for deliverance, the first thing they will tell you is about salvation. Because actually, if a person is living a holy life and you are walking with God deeply, it won't take too long for the person to have deliverance. The reason why a lot of people experience a lot of difficulty, prayer failure, the reason why people come for deliverance over and over again is because there is a legal ground of the enemy in their life. There is a filthy garment that they have refused to remove from their life. Praise the name of the Lord. So this morning we are looking at what I call the problem of defilement. That filthy garment had defiled Joshua. Praise the name of the Lord. Psalm 24 verse 3, he said, who shall ascend unto the holy hill of the Lord? Who shall stand before his place? He that has a clean heart and a what? And a pure heart. Beloved, even as this age is drawing near, what we are talking about is very expedient and crucial for us to understand. We are at a time, at a crossroad, where your allegiance to God must be defined. Who is on the Lord's side? Who is still standing for God? Because these are the modern days of Noah. Nowadays, people walking in holiness have become a laughing stock. Somebody was telling me the other time, he was telling some people, don't do this, don't do this. Say, you are still obeying all this nonsense with all what is happening here. Say, no, those things, we don't believe in it anymore. Yes, it's true. It's happening. The Bible says, in the last days, perilous times shall come. Men shall be lovers of what? Of themselves, more than lovers of God. Men shall be lovers of themselves. People are more interested in carnal activities. What will help the flesh? What will help the flesh? What will boost the flesh? What will not ruffle the shoulders? What will encourage ego and carnality? And you see, even on the social media, on the television, you see many shows. The day I feared that something has happened to the church was the day a lady gave testimony in a church in Nigeria that God gave her opportunity to attend Big Brother Nigeria. I said, there's a problem with us. I said, we have missed it somewhere. She was testifying in a church that she was able to gain entry into a satanic show where people are sleeping with each other. And I mean, how does that show encourage the church? What does it say of Christ? What does it say of Christ? And she was testifying that the man of God said she will gain that testimony, and she's giving testimony. I said, we are finished. Where did these people come from? How did we arrive at this point? So much defilement in the church. Defilement on the pulpit. It is in our days, you will see comedians who are not born again sharing the pulpit with the pastor. Where did we get it wrong? The pulpit that some people shed their blood for. Some people died a painful death for. This pulpit that you see here is a cross. The foundation of every message we preach here is salvation. Anything we do that is not pointing to Christ, we have failed. Because he was the one that gave every servant of God his assignment. And he told us to go and save men, to disciple men. Go into the world, the Great Commission. Who shall ascend unto the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in his holy place? He that has a clay house. I want to ask you, my brother, I want to ask you, my sister, are your hands clean? Are your hands clean? And you see, who you are will reflect on sometimes on your posting on social media. What you are posting is your life, is who you are.